Marriage Matters community, it's Kenyatta in for your weekly Facebook Live, and this is part two of what to do if you are tired of fighting with your mate. So I'm telling you guys some tips that will change the way you fight with your partner. The first time we met, we talked about your body language and the things that happen to you on a physical level when you are in the midst of conflict, and to be mindful of those and how to navigate and push through those dilemmas. Then we talked about if you start off rocky, you can basically predict that is going to end rocky. So being mindful of how you open up the door for conflict or how you approach your mate with something that's bothering you. So today we're going to be talking about two more things. The first one is be mindful of the repair. The repair is basically how you guys decide to make up in the relationship. So when you find that you and your mate are arguing more frequently, this is a good way to get a sense of the pattern that you all follow when you fight. For some couples, it's someone leaves the house and they don't come back until the next day, and this has become a pattern. Or someone completely withdraws and they don't talk for 2 days, and then the next thing you know, someone is asking what the other person wants to eat, and then they're back into normal communication, right? Normal programming. So it all just really depends on what your pattern of repair looks like. And for me, I like to kind of work with couples around this of when it's time to make up, who's the person that apologizes? Who's the person that typically accepts the apology? What does it look like when you and your mate are making up? What are those activities that are involved for you guys getting back to that happy place where you feel secure and you feel happy in the relationship? So like I said, there is a pattern that most couples follow, and repairing after a fight involves those efforts that you or your mate make to de-escalate the tension, right? Or even after the conflict has occurred. So during a conflict, it could look like someone saying, I really don't want to fight, or I hate when we fight. That can be an opportunity for repair because it is establishing or reestablishing that connection. Or even after the fight has occurred, it can look like coming back to that person and making those apologies, right? So ask yourself, what do you do when you and your mate are in conflict and it's time to repair? You either know that you were wrong or you don't care who was wrong. You just want to get back into a good place. What's your tactic? So if you want to end the cycle of fussing and fighting and not being on the same page, repair early. That means like you can even start repairing in the midst of the conflict or soon after, right? Not letting days go by before you and your mate get to a place of being back on one accord. And then repair often, meaning that if conflict is something that you and your mate have been experiencing, every time you have a conflict, expect to then repair the relationship. Don't allow the relationship to continue without you guys going back and discussing it. One thing that I found with a lot of couples that end up in counseling is they have been putting things, what do they say, sweeping things underneath the rug for years. And so now it's time to talk about all of these things in the counseling process. And so if this is you, I want to encourage you to begin to take some of those things from underneath the rug and discuss them and hash them out. Not necessarily in conflict and not necessarily in the midst of an argument, but just talking to your mate and having an open door for communication. Couples that are able to repair typically have good communication patterns in general, right? So if you and your mate are finding that you're always in conflict and you don't have good communication, it's time to make a change, okay? Number two is, let's see, be more open to compromising with your mate. So compromise is not about one person changing themselves and becoming somebody totally new. No, it's all about negotiating and discovering ways to accommodate each other better. So what do you like? What do I like? Okay, where can we meet in the middle where neither one of us feel like we're losing, but at the same time, we're not getting 100% of what we want. Compromise does not mean someone gets exactly what they want and the other person is compromising to allow that. No. So what I would suggest when it comes to compromising is focus on working with each other versus working against each other. And so you may ask yourself, how can I better accept my partner's flaws today? How can I embrace who they are and what they need from me? Am I making space for what they need from me and what they desire and their needs in this relationship? Or am I always just so worried about me? You may be asking me, okay, well, Kenyatta, how can I work on compromising with my partner? How can I start today? It's simple. You can't close your mind to your partner's opinions or thoughts or desires. Be open to these things that they are needing and be accepting to what it is that they are asking if it is within reason. You don't have to agree with everything your partner says or believes, but you have to be open to their position in the relationship. No one wants to feel like they're always wrong or that they're not being heard. And so ask yourself, are there ways that I can be more open to what my partner is experiencing or what they're needing or what they're desiring? Have I made room to kind of submit to what it is that they're needing versus just always thinking about me. So what I will say is if a couple is finding themselves usually in conflict, it's because someone has decided that they are not going to compromise. And so it may be you or it may be your partner. So guys, thank you again so much for tuning into this. If you are finding value in this, let me know in the comments what has been most helpful. If you're finding that you're struggling with these things, I would love to know so I can provide even more details and more suggestions on things. The more that I know about what's going on with you guys, the more I'm able to create videos to support. So guys, like I said, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your moments with your mate, and I hope that this information is valuable and helps you to create a real transition in your life. Again, if you're needing some support, give us a call. Our number is 404-496-8070. All right, talk to you guys next week. Bye.